one reason Nazism is not nearly as dangerous as Islam. Listen closely. If you miss everything I say tonight, get this. The Germans were fanatic fighters. They were good fighters. They had great machinery. For a long time, their tanks were a lot better than ours. But when they saw that massive war machine that America and the Allies put together, they surrendered. They even tried to kill Hitler to get him to surrender sooner. But they surrendered as soon as they could because they were smart enough to know they were going to die if they didn't surrender. But the Islamofascists know that if they die fighting you, they go to heaven. They want to die. They don't want to live. They want to die because that's where the man is promoted to heaven to receive those 70 virgins. Islamic fascists want to die fighting Christians and Jews in their struggle. Can we lose this war? In my opinion, we are losing it right now. When one side says you're at war and the other side is not even aware the war has started, you're losing the war. Because the liberal media and liberal politicians want to cut and run. If we do not fight and win this war there, we're going to be forced to fight this war here. Because our borders have been so pathetically mismanaged for 20 years, terrorist sleeper cells are all over this nation. I say again, the Islamic army is not coming, it's here. It's living next door, waiting for the phone to ring. FBI Terrorist Division has stated that there are 8 U.S. cities that have been targeted by these terrorists. If Iran gets a nuclear suitcase bomb capability, they will put them in the United States of America. And they want to explode 8 of them in 8 cities at one shot. This comes from the FBI. If you can imagine 8 major U.S. cities with 1 million to 1.5 million people in it dead, you can understand why they believe in a day they can make America back off and surrender to their desire. Seem almost impossible? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If the FBI believes it, they believe it for a reason. What does losing this war mean? It will not be like Korea or Vietnam. If we lose this war, if we allow Iran to get those nuclear weapons, the law of Sharia will rule America. Churches, synagogues will be burned. Every Christian who will not denounce his faith in Jesus Christ will be decapitated. You say that's impossible? If you will take a map and look at the nations in the Middle East who are now falling under Islam, very soon the United States has no oil capability to run its army, to run its air force, to run anything else we have, or to run its economy. If you know how America won the Second World War, you know they won it by taking Germans' oil away from them and making their armies without mobility. That's exactly what is happening to the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, when your president talks about America getting itself unhooked from foreign oil, he is talking about the Achilles heel of this nation. We must develop our own resources that we can remain a free people now. Radical Islam does not want us to be quiet. They want us to be dead. The plan is for the Islamic terrorists to attack us until we become submissive to them. And they've accomplished that in Spain. Spain is finished as a democracy. France is starting to buckle to Islamic terror. 20% of the Islamic population who are already there, brazen enough to march down the street screaming death to Jews. And they will claim and demand for more Islamic freedoms and more until the government buckles. And when Europe becomes Islamic, America will be cut off, surrounded, and without the oil to defend itself. Islamics will continue to immigrate to France and continue to combat French traditions. We as a nation must understand this, that we must recognize the cost of losing this war, because until we see the cost of losing this war, we will not pay the price to win this war. And what we must do is not punt this problem to our children and our grandchildren. If we do, Our children and our grandchildren will be defeated before the battle begins. Right now, America is at a crossroads. My father's generation is called the Great Generation because they lived through the Depression and they battled the Axis powers and defeated them. America's hour of challenge is back, and it is time for our generation to stand up and say, we will stand as Christians on the Word of God without fear. We will stand as Americans upon the love of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we will not be intimidated by any madness in a religious form that would drive us from the God of our fathers. We are still one nation under God, regardless of that judge out in California who doesn't know whether the sun is shining or not. We are still the American people. Give the Lord praise and glory in the house of God. Stand with me. Stand with me, please. I want you to join me in singing a prayer. It was written as a prayer. And I'm going to make an altar call after this is over, so I don't want anyone moving around. God bless America. Sing it with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain